Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. As promised, this is the year in review 2020 with two of my homies. I got
Absolutely.
Rone Bone from Beneath the Dirt podcast on. How you doing, homie?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man. I figured, got to get together, talk about all because this has been like a crazy year for multiple reasons, man.
Oh, yeah. It's been
And then
pretty fucking wild, 2020.
beneath me, I got the homie Mike Sears from
What
Speak Your
up?
Clout.
What up, Luke?
What's
Thanks for
going
having
on,
me.
dude?
Always a
Yeah, man.
fucking pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
Hell
Two
yeah.
of my favorite people easily. So always a blast.
Yeah, if I was gonna do a year in review, I had to get two experts on the panel.
Yeah.
I mean, Rowan, this has been like, is this the first full year you've been doing the show?
Trying
At
to
least
think.
like every week, right? Because you're up to like episode 100 and something now, right?
Yeah, I didn't miss 1 week in 2020. I missed 1 week in 2019 or two or something like that. But I started late 2018, so this is my second full year, but I didn't miss any weeks. I even gave like bonus content out there and shit. So
Yeah, I was saying, 'cause I know you've been killing it this year on the regular.
Oh yeah.
But that's kind of why we're doing this, because this has been like a crazy year for a lot of different reasons. But we're gonna kind of try and go in chronological order with stuff that came out and what happened. But I'm not saying it's gonna stay that way because we might get into something, remember something. So, but I guess in January there wasn't a whole lot popping off yet. There was no Corona. It was on the horizon, but nobody was paying attention. But the first kind of like big underground release was Riders, which had its own controversy and its own weight to it. I remember I was even talking to you guys about this. Like, I had no expectations for Riders. I wasn't even really a huge Riders fan to begin with. But then like that album dropped and I was like very, very pleasantly surprised. I don't know what you guys thought of the controversy and the record itself.
the controversy was to be expected, and Twisted Magic Ninja taking a psychopathic idea and doing it on their own. But it was Riders, that's the way it kind of is. Riders do what the fuck they want to do. I mean, ABK did it later on in the year too. He did a sawed-off solo record, pressed it up on a shitty cardboard white sleeve with a cover glued to it. And even that, people were excusing it. This is the Riders. Do whatever the fuck you want. But as far as the project itself, it fits in just along with any other Riders project. Really dope. They had fucking the entire fucking staff at M&E rapping on that shit. It was cool to hear Zool, AMB, Lex, ROC join it, spit some gangsta shit. Overall, I thought it was a pretty dope project. Fits in with the other ones.
Yeah, there were like a lot of like interesting guests that I had no idea were going to be on the album. Like when Dustin started spitting, I was like, what?
Yeah.
That really surprised
He's on
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dustin's on there. Yeah, I think he's on there on two different songs.
Yeah.
I think they had Red on there. I was actually really crazy when I heard Buckshot come on. I was not expecting Buckshot to be on there. It was. I mean, there were other people on. There was, like you said, it was like the entire roster, including Gmoski, which we'll get into probably a little bit later. But yeah, it was everybody. What did you think of that album, Mike?
I didn't even hear it. I refused to hear it.
You did. What did you think about them doing Riders though? Did you
Thought
care?
it was whack. And me, I always say, I told Ron this a long time ago. I get mad at ICP for dumb shit. I get mad at Twisted for dumb shit. And this is dumb shit to me. Riders is ICP, Twisted, Blaze, and whoever else can fit in that, equation. Esham, BBK, Boondocks, It's not psychopathic Riders. That's my Riders. Those fucking 6 albums, how many, whatever the fuck. That's my Riders, It's just whack to do that. That's my opinion, you know what I'm saying?
I always thought it would be hilarious if they like ripped all the songs that were on like Dumpin' and used them on the new Riders album to like take Riders to the extreme, the gimmick to the extreme, you know, jacking the beats and all that stuff. That's why I didn't care. Like if it was like Lotus, it would have been like no,
Oh yeah,
or anything else. But Riders, like the history of Riders is jacking beats and, you know, doing whatever. And so this to me was just like, and like I said, I really wasn't invested in it anyway. It wasn't until after I heard it that I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, we were talking. I was talking with Joker's Gallery on DC Faker Guy's show last week. And I think I think that's where we were talking about Riders and how they should have been dissing Psychopathic Riders instead of doing the subliminal dissing back and forth that ICP has been doing, because they've both been doing it. Straight up, you know, call out the Psychopathic Riders by name. That would be dope. And then have fucking Bullet and fucking Full Clip, and then whoever else they want, you know, get Ouija Mac, Hoodoo in there for Psychopathic Riders, diss them back. How fucking dope would that be?
Yeah, it could have created like a good war, you know. I mean, even Jamie mentioned them at the very end of the album. He mentioned everybody, like hope they're doing good and all that stuff.
Yeah, but
it would have been
they were subliminally dissing them throughout the album.
That's the weird thing with Twisted. I mean, this is getting into something else, but it's like Twisted will like shout out ICP on a certain situation, but then they kind of like sneak diss them on an album somewhere. It's just like it's all over the place, man.
Yeah.
But then ICP came back and did their live streams that we'll talk about later, where they kind of, I mean, they intentionally tried to bury Twisted, but right. We'll get into that a little bit later. So that was like the most of what I remember about January. I don't know if you guys had anything else with January that you can recall. Yeah. I mean, like we said, this was like before Rona broke out, so people weren't like throwing out music, you know what I mean? It was like still the quiet before the storm. So February obviously was Astronomicon 3 that I was at. I know Rowan and Mike weren't there, but
my boy Zero.
Who?
My boy Lord Zero, Bender Boy, he was there.
Yeah, there were a ton of people that were there. I know. I mean, I was there for like 5 days because I went for the pre-party, and because after the pre-party they shot that Parish video, which I'm in. You really can't tell because I'm wearing a Forever face, but if you look at the beginning, the guy who's escorting up the guy who's about to get blessed, that was me. I think I'm wearing the same beanie, my Forever face, and I'm wearing my AXC jersey. And then there's a couple little spots where you can spot me. But that was a really cool experience. It was like, it took forever to shoot that video, dude. It was like 6 hours. And like the first 2 were just waiting for the boys to come down to finish shooting the intro for it. That was a wild experience. Astronomicon's really cool if you can make it. They're supposed to be doing another one this weird 2021 August, I think, but we'll see if it happens. What is the over under on you guys thinking that's going to happen?
They might try, you know, they might try to do some online thing or something. I don't know. I don't see this shit going away anytime soon, man.
They have a venue, so either they're going to do an actual in-person one, or they're going to do like a virtual, you know, con at a venue. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I don't know. I almost feel like 21 is going to be like 20. I hope not. Just have to wait and see. I don't know. Hopefully, if they did get a venue, it's bigger, because I heard that it was like packed like a sardine can last year.
Yeah, like I said in my review, it was like on Friday, it was fine, and I was like, why are all these people complaining about the room? It seems fine to me. And then Saturday hit, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I see what everybody was talking about. And then normally Sunday, which is a down day, was busy because they had Alexa Bliss there. So it was just like Friday was fine. Saturday was like shoulder to shoulder traffic. And then Sunday was also really busy too. So Yeah, it was dope. That was like definitely like if you could make it or you're close, I would definitely suggest going because it's one of those times where like everybody that's on MNE is well, not everybody, but most of the people who are on MNE are there, and they're all just like walking around chilling. And it's not like you got to pay VIP or anything like that. Like for example, when Blaze was doing his Juggalo trivia, he was just standing outside the room, like talking to everybody, and I talked to him for like 20 minutes straight because he was just chilling.
That's dope.
And then at the karaoke party, I was drinking with the Zool because they were just standing out there talking with everybody in groups and stuff. Like, if you could make it, I really suggest going, especially if you're like, if you like paying all the VIP to go meet all the guys and stuff. Like, just buy a regular ticket for the weekend and you can chill with them basically for free.
Yeah, cons are fun. I've been to Comic Cons before, and they're fun. And I can only imagine one that's Juggalo related is like just even that much more better, you know?
Yeah, it's off the wall, dude. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's like a nonstop party. Because you know how juggalos are, you know, it's like, you know, it's just
Right.
nonstop on a reel.
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so for the rest of February, I don't remember if anything else came out in February that was worth.
February, I'm going back in my podcast timeline to see, like reading the descriptions of my episodes. Juggalo weekend was in February.
Oh yeah, in LA. Yeah,
In LA at that park. They had it outside, which was
it looked cool. I watched videos of it, but you know, I'm far away from LA, so
yeah, same
I had
here.
people asking if I was going to go, and I'm like, bro, that's a
Yep.
long trip.
Yeah.
Actually, now you know, after everything happened, it's almost kind of like I wish I would have taken that trip, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they
But I just gotten back from Astro, and you know, I had other stuff that was coming up, and at the time, you know, you're just like,
yeah, and ICP they did No Jumper again while they were out there, and then they did Be Real's Smoke Box, I think it's called.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
Welcome
they-
to the smoke box.
That shit's ill. Seeing ICP chilling with Be Real, you know, just blazing it up.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like anytime anybody in this scene gets kind of more of a mainstream kind of look, even though that I feel like Cypress Hill at this point is kind of more of an underground thing. But just to see them associate with dudes like that is just super fresh.
Yeah, it was. I remember liking that because I don't know why, but they ended up talking about wrestling a lot in that episode.
Yeah,
And they were talking about all that. That was pretty dope. And then I used to watch a decent amount of No Jumper, so seeing No Jumper with them was actually pretty dope. But he'd done them before. I think he was all painted up for that interview and stuff.
Yeah, he painted himself up and he had the Ringmaster shirt and shit.
Yeah, I think he said he used to be a juggalo, or he used to listen to the music a decent amount.
Yeah,
maybe juggalo's an exaggeration, but yeah. So this is like when this is still like Rona's still like a little bit far on the horizon, but we're hearing stories pop up more and more. And it wasn't until March, which I think we're about to get into, that like things really started. Like the end of March is when things really like went to shit.
Yeah, March is like when just shit hit the fan. Everything got shut down. Everything just came to a halt.
Yeah, that was. I mean, and from what I remember, it was like everything really came to a stop really quick. Like it was like 1 week you're starting to hear like rumblings, and then it was like, you know, only essential stuff is open. Maybe it was just because it was like a shock to us at the time compared to now, but at the time it seemed like a huge response.
Yeah. The crazy thing, I'm looking at my timeline again. Oh, like about a week before shit got shut down, ICP announced their Ultra Live Monster 5.
Yeah.
For all these 5 events where you get the fresh Supreme Juggalo coin because you're not a real Juggalo unless you get all these 5 coins. Yeah, but they announced all those, you know, they announced the event. They didn't actually announce where and when, but they said throughout 2020, and then a week later, Corona said, "Nah, hold my beer," and shut that shit down.
Yeah, I remember doing that. I did a video on it too, kind of explaining it, and obviously all that went down the drain. They did do a coin for the House Party Peep Show. And with the upcoming February one, they might do another coin, but we'll see. The whole idea behind that was that you collect these 5 coins. I think it was 5. Yeah, Ultralight Monster 5. And then you become like a super juggalo and you get a little ID card and you got, the discounts were cool. A lot of the stuff that you got with the card was actually pretty cool. You get discounts at all their big events, Hollow Wicked and Juggalo Weekend, all that. You get discounts on their merch and all kinds. They had more stuff they were going to announce about it, but
you become a super juggalo.
Yeah, super juggalo. Super juggalo.
And that's their words too. Like,
yeah,
I've been a juggalo since 1997. Fuck a coin.
Exactly. Who the fuck?
It reminded me exactly of I don't know if you guys were on. I know, Rone, you were on the internet pretty early, but before they were getting ready to do their big MTV push, they had this idea to do like this club. It was like old school juggalos club thing where they were going to give you like some kind of benefits and stuff. And so like you entered all your information in this and they had this database compiled and then they never did anything with it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like before they did the big push for like Jekyll Brothers, I think, when they were getting ready to do a bunch of stuff for Jekyll Brothers. And then, like I said, they never did anything with it, but that was the beginning. That was the beginning of ICP being like, we'll do our own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, I think that was pretty much March in a nutshell.
And then March, one thing, rest in peace, DJ Run for Cover of Tales from the Lotus podcast.
Oh,
yeah, I remember when that happened. Yeah,
that shit just happened like so suddenly, and just it almost seemed like he was doing okay. I remember he did an episode of the Tales from the Lotus podcast, and then like just a few days later, he was gone, and that that sucks.
I want to speak of that right quick. I was close to Rone off, internet shit. Now I talk to him on the phone and shit. That was my brother right there, you know what I'm saying? So that hit me hard. I did a tribute show and I was fucking openly crying on the show.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was watching the tribute show. Yeah, I didn't really know him at all, to be honest. So I didn't have a whole lot of personal connection to it. But yeah, I felt bad for everybody that knew him.
That hurt me, bro.
Yeah, that was like, it was right after Rona hit, and then he died, and then 2020 just bad.
Yeah.
As far as bad news in the real world, was just a shit show from there on.
I had personal things happen to me in 2020 that was horrendous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But rest in peace, DJ Run for Cover, man. That was super sad.
Without Tales from the Lotus podcast, I would never met the Bender Boys. I would never known a lot of other cool juggalos in the community without them, dog. Like, we all made each other through them, basically. So big salutes to Run. Love you, brother.
Yeah, Run was the shit.
Absolutely. He would love UFCD.
Oh,
he would love the progression of Rone Bone. He would love Luke the Goon,
Right.
He was a real one.
Yeah. He loved his old school hip hop too.
Yes, he did. And I don't give a fuck about you. Never children him in real life. Nah, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it affected me terribly. So RP Run.
Yeah, the only other thing that I could think of that was significant in March was when Lee Carver picked up Slasher Dave from Detroit, brought him down to the Church of Zool, and they started doing all the preparation for Mausoleum. And what's funny about that is, I've talked to Dave about it, is that like Lee picked him up, went down to the church, and like in that period of time, like it was normal when Lee picked him up, and then when he was down there and they brought him back, it was like the world had changed. You know what I mean? It went from like, because he's at home, it's kind of like going on a vacation. Like you leave home, everything's normal, and you go back and you're like, what the? It's like going in a movie theater when it's light outside, coming out, it's dark.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. But yeah, that was the groundwork for Mausoleum started in March. I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm sure they had no idea what was coming.
No.
So yeah, so that brings us to April, which is like where all the bones started, because this was when the Hynamic duo tour was supposed to take place, which really bummed me out because I had a childhood friend that I haven't seen in like 20 years, and he's the one who actually introduced me to ICP and all this. And we were supposed to meet at the Twisted show, and all this happened. And at this time, nobody knew exactly what was going to happen, so everybody was just pushing tours back because there was this. And then I don't remember if this was for April, but the Psychopath or the Wicked Clowns from Outer Space tour was supposed to happen as well.
Yep.
Was that in April? I think it started
was, yeah.
in April.
Yep.
And then that got pushed back, which also reminded me that this ICP were ahead of the curve in terms of Corona, because they had their European tour that they were supposed to do that just got canceled outright. And this is before the Rona even happened. And there was really no explanation given for it other than they were just canceling the whole tour.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that one, but it just, they were going to reschedule it. And now with everything happening, like, with live shows in general, because Tech Nine also had his tour. I think that was also going to start in April. That ended up got pushed back as well, and then got canceled. So this is really when everybody was getting ready to start touring, and then everything was just like,
yeah. I don't remember when it was, but ICP was like, they were one of the first ones to cancel. They canceled the gathering, and they were like the first one to cancel a big festival, and everybody.
That was such a bummer. That was my second time going back to Nelson Ledges. My boy PJ, shout out to him. He has an RV. We were ready, but
2020.
Yeah, I was getting my preparations ready too. And then
Bizarre Manager just chilling with ninjas singing Pendulum Promise.
Yeah.
Like,
that was
the Bizarre gathering, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so that
it's a shame that they never did anything to celebrate Bizarre this year. I was hoping for like a vinyl re-release or something.
Oh man, imagine.
Yeah, it's surprising they didn't even do anything for their live stream that they did. There was just
Imagine a vinyl would be a gatefold with all the little images you get in the CD booklet.
Yeah,
that'd be fly.
Super dope.
Include like the stuff that came with the CDs with the little 3D glasses.
Yeah,
I think they had like the dice too, the like cardboard dice that you put together.
Fucking blue and red swirl. Oh man, the vinyl. That'd be fire. Or just like the fucking the logo, like behind the question marks in the eyes. Like I can't fucking think of it right now, but the spin wheel thing.
Yeah.
That'd be fire.
The black and white spin.
Yes. That shit.
They could have done it uphill, but they didn't.
Them the Jekyll Brothers. That's I told Shanzi. I said it'd be fire if they gave us like a dope digipack CD with like Woodstock 99 performance with that. Oh man, the DVD.
Yeah.
That'd be fire.
That would be fresh.
Yeah, they did say at actually when I was at Wicked Weekends the year before, somebody that was in my little VIP group had brought up the cassette for Bizarre, and they talked about like re-releasing it and stuff.
Oh shit.
But with everything that happened, I'm assuming they probably meant to do it this year or last year. But
and who knows, because Island Def Jam owns those masters, because of everything that happened this year with all the shutdowns, because they couldn't do it themselves, the major label was probably just like, no, we ain't doing it.
Yeah, we don't care about this ICP thing.
Right. I mean, when they re-released the Jekyll Brothers, it was kind of a disappointment only because they used the same font as the Great Malenko. And the Jekyll Brothers has a completely different font, like the track listing. Mm-hmm. The font is way different than it is for Malenko, but they use the same Malenko font on the Jekyll Brothers.
We're talking vinyl here?
Yeah. So, and, it wasn't gatefold. Malenko wasn't gatefold either, but, still fresh to have. But it's just, you could tell it was a major label just being like, all right, yeah, we'll press 1,000 of these for you real quick, and not really putting any thought into it, you know?
Yeah. So also in April, MNE re-released Necronomicon on vinyl for the boys. That's one of my. I love all their albums, but that's also a really dope album they've done. I actually got 2 copies of that vinyl because MNE and a lot of like these major labels, they don't know how to ship vinyl, and like they just keep the vinyl in the sealed. I know a lot of people like to keep them sealed, but the right way to ship a vinyl is you take the vinyl out of the case and you put hard cardboard on both of them, and then when you get it, you just got like this little slip thing that you put it all in.
Yeah.
And then because when you don't do that, what happens is the cardboard at the top breaks because the vinyl pushes through, and you got like this little rip at the top. And my first Necronomicon vinyl came that way, and I was like, this is not gonna work, bro. So I just ordered another one. I think when they did a sale, I ordered another one, and that one came okay.
Oh shit, we got to mention one hit, another dimension.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna be like, I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, we forgot to mention this."
And you both looked at me like, "What?"
Yeah, that's what happened.
I was like, "What happened? That was that important?"
Yeah. No,
And if you got a decent system in your vehicle, woo,
yeah,
that bangs. That bangs.
yeah,
bumps. I like when
and they.
perform
I know
another
they
dimension
they
live.
put that under like some kind of I forget what they called the imprint or something like that. It was something like MNE re-releases or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
Underground?
No. It was something else. It was something about like re-releases or something like that. I think Necronomicon was the first one they put that on. But yeah, I was gonna pull mine out, but
I gotta get that vinyl because I was,
yeah, that vinyl's dope.
still against to the fullest.
So it's the welcome. It's probably blurry, but it is the Welcome to the Underground.
Oh,
so the Welcome to the Underground thing.
Shit! It's a jewel case.
Yeah. They re-released the Necronomicon in the jewel case.
I gotta get that.
And so the Welcome to the Underground thing for a while was, the Welcome to the Underground collection, and I think they're still doing that, where they're using that name to re-release older material. And now it's a sub-label of M&E and all that shit.
That's why it threw me off, because I was like, no, that's the name of the new thing, which is something else that happened this year. Is they started their sub-label, Welcome to the Underground, with, I believe, the first artist was Oh the Horror, correct?
Yeah.
I don't remember what month that happened, so we might as well talk about it now.
Yeah, I mean,
because MNE was like crazy this year. MNE was doing so much this year. Me and Rone talked about this before we started, and that they had basically every major artist on that label released an album this year. Twisted released 2. AXC released Mausoleum, and like we just mentioned, they re-released Necronomicon. Let's see, Lex released 2 EPs. Boondocks released that Scarecrow album, Crimson Scarecrow or whatever it's called, and then Blaze did Cadaver. And then there was the Songs of Sam Haines album that came out. A&B released that what is it, Fatality, or what's the name of that album? Yeah,
the EP, yeah, Fatality.
Yeah. So everybody on that label came with a lot of music. I don't know, were there any standouts? I mean, for me, obviously Mausoleum. I actually kind of like Blaze's Cadaver. I mean,
oh god,
it's not his best work, obviously, but I didn't think it was terrible.
I think it's terrible.
It's probably worse than Gang Rags.
Yeah, it's fucking garbage. And I love Blaze is my favorite artist ever.
Yeah, I love Blaze. Blaze is a cool motherfucker.
Yeah, hell yeah. I smoked with him at the gathering. Oh,
yeah, Blaze is the shit.
Yeah,
Blaze is dope, but it felt like, and I think Mike said this too, it just felt like every song just blended into the next, and like, oh shit, I'm on track 7 now. I thought we were still on 2 or something.
His voice is different. Yeah, I don't like it.
Which, I mean, I was a little disappointed because the first single was I'm a G, and that song went hard. Yeah, that song went hard. that was a great first single because it kind of like was like, oh, I hope the whole album sounds like this, you know.
That's why I pre-ordered it, but unfortunately.
Yeah. Standouts for me were Twisted's 2 albums were probably the 2 best releases that M&E released this year, Mad Season and Revelation. Those were fucking just super dope. Revelation, really good. I liked Mad Season a little more. And I fucked with Lex's Party Castle EP. Wasn't a big fan of the Haunted Mansion EP. The first was his first EP he put out was dope. A&B's Fatality was cool. And trying to
Boondocks. What'd you think of that?
I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, and I never will.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I like Boondocks for me is best in like Riders.
Oh, yo. Agreed.
Yeah, like when he was in Riders and just doing like gangster shit and fucking
Young Dirt.
Yeah, Young Dirt, like killing it. Like when he does those projects with like Buckshot and they're just jacking beats.
Hell's Kitchen.
For whatever reason, this dude just sounds better on like industry beats than he does when he's doing his own solo thing.
And he can rap.
He can.
I don't know. He kills it.
That's the thing with Boondocks is like the talent is there. Dude can definitely rap, but when it comes to Boondocks records, it doesn't hit with me.
No, I like some songs on Crimson Creek and The Harvest.
Pumpkinhead was cool.
Pumpkinhead Dark.
Yeah. Pumpkinhead was probably my favorite project that he did. It was only an EP, but
I remember driving. Sorry, bro. Go ahead. My bad, brother. What did you say?
Pumpkinhead was probably my favorite thing that he did, even though it was just an EP.
Yeah. I remember I used to drive to that album. It's so dark.
Yeah.
EP, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really. Boondocks is probably one of the artists that I listened to like the least out of like when he was on Psychopathic and even when he came to M&E, I was just never like I guess country rap kind of fan, you know. But like Ron was saying, like when I listened to him on like we said earlier with Buckshot and like Hell's Kitchen and that Paradigm Shift album that they did, and when he does like his Turncoat Dirty stuff, like I like all that stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, M&E killed it this year. They did what a lot of other underground labels did, and just took the shutdown as an opportunity to just release music because you ain't got shit else to do. You can't go on tour. You might as well put out a shitload of music. Me and Mike, I know Mike fucking loves Griselda. They put out a ton of music this year. And they always do anyway, but it seemed like this year, like the quality was just like that much better though. You know what I mean? Like with everything they did. And it just seems like, underground wicked shit. A lot of people took advantage of that as well.
Yeah. Obviously, Mausoleum is my favorite thing with underground and shit. Hands down, but
yeah, yeah.
It's no secret that Roan wasn't a huge fan of the album.
And I feel bad because I fucking like those guys so much, and it sucked because I've said it before, I was so looking forward to it. And it kind of reminded me of Blaze's album, just seemed to all blend, together. And there was only like just a couple standout tracks. Like Mask Made Me Do It was fucking fire.
Yeah.
Like easily my favorite song on that album.
That deathbed, that shit is crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest.
Asshole.
I love Blood Moon
Back. From the Blood Moon and Back is probably, I have a couple different favorite tracks, but that's one of my favorite on there.
Yeah.
That was a dope single. It's just they took it in a completely different direction than I was expecting. So I think I let myself down because I was expecting too much, maybe, or expecting something different. You know, it happens. It happened with the Benny the Butcher album too for me.
That is crazy too to me. That is
Yeah.
insane.
I know.
I love you, though, brother. You know.
Yes, sir.
So I think we left off at April. I think was where we were talking about last before we started talking about MNE's whole year. So I think that encapsulated most of April. What we mentioned, tours basically getting pushed back, canceled. The re-release of Necronomicon.
Yeah, April. I'm looking at my thing. Madrox did an interview in April where he talked about he brought an idea to the table of doing a 3 of 5 Dark Lotus project.
Yeah.
With Twisted and Blaze, 3 of 5. And I spoke out against that. I was like, look, Riders is whatever because it's Riders, but you can't touch Lotus. And even if the idea is dead and it was killed into the ground, in their offices, I would just like to reiterate that it is a terrible idea and it should never happen.
Twisted is like old Twisted is everything to me, right? I used to fucking spider leg my hair, I used to think, do I like Twisted more than ICP? I used to think this, right? But they do some fuck shit that I can't stand behind. And if they did that, fuck those dudes for life. If they did that, I'm sorry. Yeah, I love Twisted,
If they did that, but the good thing in that interview was it seemed like it was Madrox's idea, and it seemed like everybody else killed it.
Good.
Like he brought it to the table, and everybody at Emily was like, "Nah, we ain't doing that." And then even later on in the year, at some point, Monoxide does his smoke sessions on Facebook or YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
And somebody even asked about Dark Lotus, and he was like, "Look, it's not Dark Lotus if it ain't Twisted, ICP, and Blaze." He kind of.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah, he even kind of just said like, "Look, if it ain't that, it ain't Lotus." So hearing him say that was like, okay.
Them dudes still got that shit on their wrist. You feel me? Like,
yeah.
I would love to have that happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I say never, but it doesn't look good right now.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, especially after the live stream they did, the interview with Chris Hansen, definitely doesn't seem likely anytime soon,
right.
Unless ICP's putting up a little bit of a front, which goes into a whole conspiracy theory about this was planned by Twisted and ICP to create a division so that when they got back together, they'd make gangbusters.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if the gathering did happen last year or this year, whenever the next gathering is, and the beef is still going on, and then Twisted right before ICP hits the stage. No, we're gonna do a surprise Twisted set. Every motherfucker that said fuck Twisted is gonna go nuts in that crowd because Twisted is hitting that stage at the gathering. I guarantee if that were to happen, that's what would happen. Like, just people would go nuts. Everybody. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Everybody that said fuck Twisted would be like, all right, this is the shit.
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be,
unless motherfuckers are really on some fuck Twisted shit, and the flip coin of that, and then they start booing them. That'd be even more wild. Like Twisted like came out, and like if Violent J, like, remember how Violent J used to intro them on the early tour, Twisted, and he did that, and then they still booed him. That'd be some wild shit too.
Yeah, it would be. Knowing Juggalos, they'd be shooting fireworks at him.
Right.
Twisted. Hatchet attacks. I mean, Hatchet Rising. My bad. 01.
Yeah, that's.
You did that shit, man.
Yeah, I wish I went to that.
Yeah, that's my favorite tour of all time. Period. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, they already have a group with Blaze called Triple Threat. So, and they also have another group that maybe we'll talk about a little bit later that was like just announced. But yeah, I mean, April was kind of like the real downer month, I guess, because that was when everything started. And then I believe May is when they did NetFest. I think NetFest happened in May,
It did.
which was actually like a really fast response to everything that happened. It was all put together by Chuck Reeves, and it included like pretty much everybody that you can think of was there in some capacity, including like in my opinion, the biggest thing that happened that night was Alex Abyss.
Double A, y'all.
Yeah, seeing Alex Abyss again was crazy. And I mentioned it before. I almost fell out of my seat when I saw him because we haven't seen him in years. To be honest, I almost forgot about Alex Abyss until I saw him, and I was like, "Holy shit, he's back!" But that was the last. But that's the last we've seen of him since that appearance.
He looked a lot different, but as soon as he started talking, you just remember that voice.
He did the whole. He's like, it's twisted.
Yeah, and
it's
it's
like,
just
oh my goodness.
Another one of those things where, a dig at ICP, if you will. Alex Abyss popping up at a fucking MNE event when ICP even said during one of their podcasts where dude just disappeared, just fucking dipped out, took who knows how much money and bounced, and nobody knew where he went. He fucking changed all his phone numbers. So for him to pop up at that was it was interesting. And
they had a couple.
You'll probably never see that dude ever again.
Disappeared back into the shadows again.
Right.
They had a couple like artists on there that I don't know if they were direct digs to ICP, but they had Mikey Clark on there. They had Choir Boy Dank was on there from Swagtooth. I don't know if that was just like, opportunity, or if that was like, we're gonna go try to get these people to put them on the NetFest.
Swagtooth is amazing. That Dead York, ooh.
Fire.
Fucking love it.
Yeah, super dope. The NetFest thing was it
was a mixed bag for sure.
Yeah, a mixed bag for me, only because it was just way too long.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah,
it was literally from like 4 o'clock, or maybe if it was earlier than that, I don't remember. I think it was 4, all the way to like
1. I think.
Did it start at 1?
Yeah,
and it was like 1 all the way to like 1 a.m. It was like 12 hours, and that's not even exaggerating. Yeah. It was.
A lot of it was I didn't want to fucking see it.
Mm-hmm.
The main show was dope though. The main show, where we get all the the shit that you really wanted to see. But some other standouts was, I thought Damian Quinn of Dark Half's set was really dope, where it was kind of like they were incorporating Gino in there. That was really fresh. Draven reads mean tweets was probably the highlight.
That was good.
Of him just reading tweets of people shitting on him. That was hilarious.
My other highlight, I would say, would be the Buck slap. Oh, Buck Norris.
Yeah,
that was another huge highlight for me.
Yep. Buck slap was dope, and then you had some cringe moments like Necro rambling on about 10 minutes about fucking girls and just being
so bad.
Necro is just. I was like, I can't believe they even like are airing this right now. This is so bad.
It was. And I think that actually appeared.
The shit he finds funny is not funny. He thinks being a piece of shit is funny, and it's not. Like, it's okay to like say you're a piece of shit or whatever, and like it's a joke, but dude is a genuine piece of shit, and thinks it's funny the way he treats people like shit, and it's not. And fuck Necro. He's just one of those dudes that I just stopped supporting over the last couple of years because he's not a good human.
Rome's like, nigga, I'm gonna sell your albums and buy No Limit albums.
Exactly. And he'll probably find this clip somehow and then fucking block me on every social media, which is fine because I don't follow him.
Yeah, I told you he was trying to play me before. I told you what that nigga tried to do. Like,
yeah.
I don't know hip hop. I'm just a juggalo,
Right. Yeah, that dude is just, I don't know, special, we'll say.
Shout out to his brother though. He's a good dude.
Oh, Ill Bill is fucking.
Yeah.
This album right here is fucking.
Oh, I
fire.
gotta get that. I gotta get that.
Fire.
My boy
Yeah,
J
the other thing,
Royale.
I think that
verse.
necro segment, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, aired after the R.A. the Rugged Man performance. Is that correct, Ron?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I like the R.A. the Rugged Man thing because like I like R.A. anyway, but like he was like a little bit sick, and so what he did is he was like laying on the floor with his phone with his kids, and he just like performed that way
And just
like
rap.
with his kids. Yeah, it was really. I thought it was really dope.
It was cool because like when NetFest came out, we were still very much in that like quarantine phase where nobody's really leaving their house, nobody's working, and it was just perfect to see dudes like RA, Ubiquitous, Cess Crew, Murs, just in
Murs
their
was cool too.
yeah, like in their living rooms, just rapping to the camera. Like it just fit the whole theme of what was going on throughout the world at that point.
Already Rugged Man, he kind of annoys me. You know, I think he can rap his ass off. He released albums that I wasn't feeling, but this recent album is great. He finally did it. Yeah, he finally did a good album in my opinion.
Yeah, it's what is it? All My Heroes Are Dead, I think. Or
Yeah,
something like
that shit is that shit's fire to me.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple memes that a lot of memes that came out of that NetFest. The Buck Slap. I think there was that. I never remember their name. It was something like it was like Wicked Lake, or what was the name of that that artist? It was like early on, and it was like Blood Lake, or like I don't remember, but it was like early horrorcore.com rap. And they were like by the lake and stuff. Oh my gosh, bro. It was so bad, but it was hilarious. It was so bad it was good, I think.
Yeah. A lot of
it,
the beginning shit, I just kind of had it on in the background while I was doing chores throughout the house. So
yeah, it was like, I mean, if you can imagine going to a show and you see all these openers, but that lasting for like 10 hours.
I can't wait till we get to Hollow Wicked. I got something to talk about an opening act that was horrendous. Oh my god, I'll get to that later on. Ooh.
So that was, I mean, what did you have any other notes about May, Rone Bone?
Ouija Mac released Resistance 2.
Fire.
And when that came out, that was like instantly my favorite Ouija project.
And it sounds good.
Yeah. That was the project where it was like he figured out the engineering situation. His songwriting was getting a little bit better. Not that it was bad before, because I've been fucking with Ouija, since Swag Tooth, but you could like hear the improvements, and that tape was just this was the beginning. That was the first project he released in 2020, and that was like the beginning of his like running shit in 2020. He killed it with that tape.
Stomp a motherfucker till he fall through the floor.
Yeah. Stomp that boy out till he fall through the floor. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm not a huge Ouija Mac fan. I want to. It's funny because I want to like his music, but it just doesn't click for me, man. Like live, like even when he did, which we'll talk about later, his Ballads performance, dope. I've seen him live at the Wicked Weekends, back last October, dope. But when I sit down and I try to listen to it, it just doesn't work for me. Some of his songs, like the song you were just talking about, I kind of like. But when I try to sit down and listen to his whole album, it just
And
I like Swag Tooth too. That's the weird thing, is I like Swag Tooth, but
it is a little bit different than Swag Tooth shit, but not much different. But Ouija, in my opinion, I said it on my show, he was the MVP of the Wicked shit this year, or for 2020, in my opinion. Dude put out Resistance 2, pretty ugly, the Zodiac tape, and then he finally put out the Wasteland album. And Resistance 2 was my favorite, but then when he dropped Wasteland, I was like, wow, like this shit is so good. Like that became my new favorite, and I still bumping the fuck out of that Wasteland album. And Ouija, the merch drops, everything. When he says he's gonna release something, it comes out on time. his customer service, when you buy shit from him, they had fucked up one of my orders. I emailed them. They said, give it 24 hours and we'll have a new one shipped out. Sure enough, a day later, they shipped out what they had missed in my package, and I had it in my mail, a couple days later. So everything he's doing, from music, videos, merch drops, customer service, killing it. There's not many, a lot of people, if you hit them up, they fuck up an order or something. Sometimes they be fucking irritated with you for trying to get shit right. Like, dude, but you fucked
Ain't mad
up.
at me, nigga. It's your fuck up.
Right. You fucked it up. Just send me what I ordered, or they just ignore you.
Yeah, which was a big thing with M&E store this year too, was they got way behind on stuff.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who ordered the Joe Black for President shirt, and he didn't get it until like a week or two after the election. So
oh wow.
It's like, well, so much for that shirt.
Right.
But yeah, and I ordered something and they gave me an extra shirt. Just in general, they were really, a lot of people were, the Mausoleum pre-order masks, like they were supposed to be delayed, but not as delayed as a lot of people had them. Like a lot of people, I mean, some of that's on USPS, but like M&E store, definitely, like I ordered shirts on Black Friday. I didn't get them until like a week ago. And because they had some kind of error with one of the AXE shirts that I ordered.
Yeah, it took a while. I ordered the HOK box set on Black Friday, and it took a few weeks for it to process.
Cassette box set. Right?
Yeah.
They need them CDs. They need to do that.
Yeah, but when they had that on sale. So originally that HOK box set, I think they were selling it for $90, but because it probably hasn't sold well, the new price is I think $65, and then they had a 50% off media sale, so it was $30. I was like, dude, for $30, gotta cop it. It's so cheap. Yeah. You know what I mean? So for $30, I was like, fuck it, I'll cop it.
You know who's? Oh, go ahead. My bad, brother.
It's dope enough for, as much as I would like a CD box set. For $30, it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
You know who's absolutely exceptional with shipping? Esham. Like, the same day I order, it shipped.
And that's crazy because 10, 15 years ago, he was ripping motherfuckers off.
Nigga, the hell of a store?
Yeah.
I got a refund. Thank God. I ordered mad shit and never came. So.
Yeah. He was just straight up taking people's money, but now... But now you order shit from Esham. Yeah, you're right. Anything I've ordered from him in the last few years, it's shipped like promptly. Like
instantly though, man.
Yep.
Shout out to E.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that was May, I think, pretty much. It was everybody trying to kind of cope with what was going on and like, kind of rushing shit out. I think, was that when Mad Season came out too? Because I know Mad Season came out of nowhere. It was a surprise drop album, and it like went up. Like I think it went up after NetFest, because I think they did like a live stream or something, and it came up like right after that.
Yeah, I'm looking, and I don't see it. I think it did though. I think it did come out in May, and Mad Season was a dope project. Granted, half of it was previously released singles that they did, but still a very solid project from Twit. The best project since Abominations, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it came out April 24th, so going into May.
A little bit back, a little bit. Yeah, because they did the music video for Wasted 4 during that fest.
Yes.
Which was, and that's the other thing maybe we could talk about a little bit, is the music videos that have come out this year, at least, that are filmed during this period of time, are very, like, especially some of the M&E ones, they're like cell phone music videos for the most part.
Yeah.
I remember I was really disappointed in the Wasted, because I like that song, Wasted 4.
Yeah.
But like when I watched the music video.
Yeah, the way the Wasted 4 music video it didn't come out that good. But the Off with Their Heads one, you could tell that was like cell phone footage, but it was just edited better than the Wasted video.
Yeah.
The Wasted, and there's other people's that are putting out videos this year that are like movies that are like, so there's really no excuse for that unless they really couldn't find a videographer or something.
Yeah. So I think that's May mostly.
Yeah. The Mad Season album was dope. And
Yeah.
I'll still tell Mike that he's got to peep it because it's easily the best album since Abominations.
Ain't heard that yet? Ain't heard Revelation over the fuck. I gotta hear it. I know I keep saying it, which I probably never will.
Yeah,
I need to though.
Yeah, I'd go Mad Season for Revelation's dope, but Mad Season definitely.
So June, I really don't remember much dropping in June.
Yeah, I'm looking right now, and I was like ranking Nada's albums, and didn't really do much in June, other than what is it? Oh, Ouija Mac. Oh, he dropped the track list for Pretty Ugly. Oh, Violent J. I don't know if you remember when I posted the clip. He did a cameo for somebody that asked about the John Kick Jazz documentary, and dude was like shit-faced and trying to answer why the John Kick Jazz documentary wasn't coming out.
It's too sad.
Yeah, it's too sad. And he's like fucking hiccuping and shit. And
I guess that's something else that we can talk about that happened this year is ICP went to Cameo, and then they were like, you know what? Fuck this. Let's cut out the middleman.
Yeah.
And they did like this huge reveal for it, which I still don't know why they did, but it was custom clown clips. And on their Instagram, they released like one image every time to like put together the words custom clown clips.
Yeah.
And I think, Ron, you figured it out before they even finished it, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw someone. I didn't figure it out personally, but I saw someone in the museum figure it out, and then I just put it out there.
Yeah, some of them their prices on some of the stuff was like ridiculous. Like they had like you could have Florida Joe give you a message for like hundreds of dollars. I don't even remember what it was. It was something crazy.
I think it was like $300.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That is insane.
And then I think Moon Glorious was an option. Sugar Bear, I think, was an option. But they were like Ron saying, they were ridiculous prices. Like I'm fairly certain one of them was like $500.
Yeah.
Not even exaggerating. Like I was just
saying. But then you could just get a regular ICP shout out for like $75.
Yeah. It's like,
do I want to pay $400 more to get a Moon Glorious shout out?
Yeah, it's like
Moon Glorious.
Yeah.
I love that character though.
Moon Glorious.
Best characters.
Esham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat Tatanka.
Do Doubler.
Love it.
Yes, I mean that was the big. Like we said, June really wasn't a very happening month. There wasn't a whole lot that went on. I think that was probably when a lot of people were starting to realize. I think that was the month where people were starting to realize this isn't going to end anytime soon, because I think people were still a little bit hopeful throughout April and May, and then June when things were starting to get a little bit worse, people were like, "Man, fuck, this is going to be a while."
Yeah.
So then July. I'm not really remembering a whole lot about July either. The summer months mostly kind of.
July.
I was depressed. The Gathering. I was depressed.
Oh yeah. The Gathering stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, The Gathering was supposed to have gone down. But in July, that's when ICP put out a hit on the dude from fucking whatever band that was.
Davy Vanity or whatever.
Yeah. So
yeah.
They put a hit out on him in July. I have that here.
Yeah, that would have been that was like a long, like I'm surprised it took him that long to actually do that, because that guy's been known for that kind of thing for a very long time. It's
funny because Violent J talks about how much he loves YouTube and how he'll just binge YouTube all day. So he must have just been binging like Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator shows and then that probably popped up
Yeah,
in a
saw
video
recommended and was like,
yeah,
"Ooh, what's
from
this?"
6 years ago, and then Violent J's like typing on his phone, "We're gonna kill this motherfucker."
They had a weird kind of social media year in general. Like Jay would post some of the weird stuff, like from his daughter, like weird memes and stuff. I don't remember like the cat meme with the little gun hand and stuff. He's like, "Oh, my daughter did this. Isn't it so cool?" I'm like, Jay, step away from the computer.
Right.
It was just weird stuff like that.
Then
when you mentioned,
go ahead.
I was gonna say when you mentioned the cameo, I meant to bring this up because he also did a cameo about the Gathering, and this was also another like crazy off the wall one where he's like, "We're gonna invent a shrinking potion, and we're gonna shrink down as juggalos, and we're gonna fight the coronavirus, and we're gonna have the Gathering. It will not be canceled." And he was like laughing in the beginning, like, "Ha ha ha ha! I heard you thought the Gathering was gonna be canceled." Like, bro,
The fuck?
yeah.
I didn't see that one.
Oh no, that was how I opened my when they canceled the Gathering. I played that clip, and then I went like
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah,
we can't gloss over the fact, Shaggy and the Creep Show. It started in late 2019, but this was like the year for them to like really grow that brand. And although I'm not a fan of like the sketches that they do, they just started season 2, but their podcast, the Palcast, is pretty entertaining. I love listening to the Shaggy and the Creep podcast. Like I like seeing Shaggy kind of just step out into the limelight because he was always just kind of behind Violent J,
yeah,
not saying much for a lot of years, and now he's out there and doing his own thing, and it's dope.
yeah. It's weird because like I remember like when I first started listening to ICP in like the mid '90s, late '90s, it was like Shaggy was like, almost like non-existent. Like he wasn't on many songs. He was like the hype man. You hardly heard him on anything ever. And he always kind of seemed like the quiet guy that like when Violent J was done doing his like wrestling promo, Shaggy would just step up and go, "Yeah." And that was it. So, I mean, obviously he's been coming out more and more with like, fuck the fuck off and fuck the fuck off motherfucker and all that shit. So it is good to see him coming out. And we were kind of talking about how that's the best, how it's good to see him coming out and how a lot of Shaggy solo projects are always really pretty good.
My favorite member of Insane Clown Posse is Tudo. Always has been. So I was 12 years old. So yeah. Love Shags.
I've always been Violent J. Violent J was my guy.
I love J too.
But yeah, Shaggy and the Creep Show been killing it for 2020.
Yeah, actually, that show gave a boost to my I went to Psychopathic Records video, so I'd like to thank them for that too.
Oh yeah.
It put it into the algorithm, and so it was like, yes, finally.
Hell yeah.
That Shaggy 2 Dope search engine helps a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, so like we said, like there wasn't a whole lot. That was like what, July, I think. Did you have anything else in your notes about July, or was that pretty much it? Like I said, it wasn't.
The other one, Hoodoo announced his album for the Red Book.
Shit's fire. That album is fire to me.
Is it?
Yeah, I know you're not a Hoodoo fan, Ron, but yeah.
Yeah, I heard good things about it.
Yeah, I like the album.
Yeah, so I guess that leads into August, which I don't think there was a whole lot in August either, other than the Mausoleum pre-orders dropped in August that I remember.
Oh yeah.
I think that was when the Gathering was supposed to actually happen. But obviously they canceled that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of funny that because there were like a couple that ICP were canceling before like a lot of other big conventions even canceled. Which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, I also don't know if it was more of a ICP deciding to cancel it or Nelson Ledges deciding to cancel it, but either way, it got canceled. Yeah,
the Mausoleum. I want to give a shout out to Ala Zululu because I just on my Facebook like page, the Beneath the Dirt like page, I just found how to check my mentions when people mention me in posts and stuff, and people post about me, like just the page. I didn't see it until the other day, and this episode came out on August 10th. But Ala Zulilu actually reposted that episode that I did, which was titled "Ala Zulilu is Dead," and I had no fucking idea until like 3 days ago. And
Yeah.
it's like 5 months later. But I want to shout them out for doing that. That's fucking.
I
dope.
remember that. I remember them posting it when it went up. I just thought you would have seen it, and so I didn't even bother being like, "Yo, Road."
I had no idea. I would have geeked I mean, I geeked out like 3 days ago. I liked the post that they post, but shit, I wish I would have known 5 months ago.
That's dope.
Hell yeah, those dudes are the shit, man. They're really down to earth guys. Like,
Yeah.
they're the shit.
Yeah, so the pre-orders dropped for the Mausoleum. I think there was like 5 bundles, mask, jersey, what else? A charm, and I think there was a hat, and then obviously just the CD.
Yeah.
I got the mask, and I also got the jersey bundle as well.
That mask was fucking fire. Just the black and white, like,
Yeah,
super dope.
Thanks to my nigga Rone Bone.
yeah.
Yeah,
There
My
it
first
is.
face. You know what I mean?
that shit is dope.
Yeah, this was also the year where the 2.1 became available to everybody because they unveiled it at Xmas last year, but you couldn't buy one until this year when they released the OG 2.1.
When they first unveiled the 2.1 at Xmas, I was at that show, and I thought it was fucking devastating. But in the beginning, I was like, I like the 2.0s better. But I think as time has gone on, this new version with the fucking cut going up the mouth, like it's so
Hard.
looking, and just I love it.
Yeah, it's much more sinister than the 2.0 is. Way more
Yep.
sinister. Yeah, I remember when I first saw it, I was kind of like, because I really liked the 2.0. I was like, and then it just kind of slowly grew on me. And then when I was at Astro and I got to see it up close, I was like, yeah, that's dope. You know, and then getting it in your hand, you're like, fuck yeah, this is dope.
I want to get mine bloodied up like I got my 2.0 bloodied up.
Yeah. Peb Customs will do that for you.
Is he doing 2.1s?
He is now, yeah.
Okay, because he
I mean,
told me
he'll definitely.
when I got
Yeah,
my 2.0, he's like, I ain't doing 2.1s. I was like, all right,
Yeah, he wanted to let him settle for a little bit before he put his hands on him. You know,
I'm about to hit him up.
Yeah, he'll definitely bloody it up for you.
Fuck yeah, that dude does ill work too.
Yeah, he does a lot of great. He also does the dwellers now. That mask comes directly from him. He pours all those masks. Sculpted by Tom Martino, who does all the faces, and then he pours it. Those are like, bro, that's something else that happened this year. But the dwellers is kind of a new face. They did a couple new faces this year. Brandon Philbrick from Gravity Bleeds did the hockey mask, Forever Face the 13th, and then Peb Customs did the Dweller, the Alley Dweller, and like I've talked to Bill about this before, but like one of the things that he's kind of wanted to do is like have a store of masks, like have all different kinds of masks that they can sell, and they're getting there, man. Like with all the previous masks, like I said, the Dweller, the Forever Face the 13th, like they're making, and I hear there's more on the way. Obviously, they're gonna do 3.0 and going on and on and on. They're gonna have a nice inventory of masks to sell at some point.
I talked about it on this week's episode about how Zool just raised their stock in 2020, just gained so many new fans, and the way that they're selling masks is super dope. Shit sells out so fast.
Yeah, we were talking about that, I think, before we went live. It's like, they used to have, I mean, they were selling one-offs before,
right?
And then they kind of like slowly increased their stock, and now they're selling out. They just released a Soul Taker, and there were 70, I believe, and those sold out like overnight. I don't know how many there were, or I don't know how fast it went, but they went pretty quick.
Yeah, it's dope. I like seeing Zool grow.
And this was kind of their year to like push March, you know what I mean? Because luckily, I think I've talked about this before, they didn't plan on touring a whole lot, and so they were already prepared for kind of the drought in shows. But I know that they had planned a tour with Mausoleum, and then obviously that wasn't going to happen. So luckily they were able to just kind of like keep afloat because they have a fan base that's going to buy their merch almost like no matter what it is. And so, they're able to stay afloat. It was like you were saying with Ouija Mac. It's like there's and Buckshot can go in this category too. There are artists out there that they just like their merch game is like on point. You know what I mean? And in times like this, it's like really kept them afloat.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So that brings us to what is it? That was September, right?
August.
August. Okay. So, the pre-orders, I guess, probably would have dropped in September then, right? Because the album came out in October, so we're a little ahead of ourselves. But
yeah.
So, what would you have for September then?
I'm looking at it now. September, ICP announced the Funhouse Party Peep Show through Patreon, and then there was they weren't really specific. I did an episode where it was like buyer beware. If you don't cancel your subscription before October, you'll be charged on November. They eventually cleared that, and people, I wasn't charged at midnight on November 1st. What else do we have? We had, Ala Zululu drops pre-orders for Mausoleum. Let's see. Blaze Day Homie.
I imagine Blaze probably announced his Cadaver at that point, too.
Pre-orders for Cadaver went up, but that's pretty much it for September. Yeah.
Yep. So I guess that leads into October, which was obviously the release of Mausoleum, like we were talking about. I think, was that also the month they did the Freak Show experience, or was that November?
No, it was, I believe that was October, because they did it on Devil's Night.
Yeah. So, we talked a lot about the Mausoleum already. I actually did a listening party for that. I had Joe Black, Lee Carver, Billy Obey on there. I had Slasher Dave on there. He had a little bit of connection problems, but he was there for the beginning of it. And that was awesome. That was probably the coolest thing I did all year. I kind of felt like a DJ there, it's like, all right, the next track is yeah, that was a lot of fun. Talking about the album and everything, getting all the behind the scenes info about it. But then that's when Blaze's album dropped too. Blaze dropped Cadaver that month because it came out like a week after Mausoleum dropped, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that album already a little bit. I know you guys weren't too fond of it.
No.
Had a good single.
Yeah, the single was fire.
Yeah, it was.
Started the album out, and then it just didn't go anywhere from there.
Well, yeah, that's the other funny thing about that track is it's the first track on the album.
Right.
So you're like, fuck yeah.
Shit's hard.
It is. You play that in your car, dude. It's like, oof.
Yeah. The Funhouse Party Peep Show, whatever the fuck it was called, for ICP, the Halloween streams. I thought they knocked it out of the park. They killed it with those streams. Like every single one was dope, except for the wrestling one.
Yeah, the JCW thing. Yeah.
Other than that, everything they did, like they had the Oddcast podcast where they would just talk about whatever. They had the one where they talked about like mass murderers, and it was fun hearing their take on all that kind of shit.
Yeah. And that was also where like we were saying earlier, where we got to hear a lot about like Violent J. He likes to talk a lot on these shows.
Yeah.
So you get to hear like a whole different side of Violent J. Even though he talks a lot already, like when you get to hear him talk about other stuff, it's interesting,
Yep. They had the seminar where they announced all these plans that they'll never come through with, I'm sure.
Oh my God, I'm about to go off soon. It's coming.
It's what they do with their seminars. They promise all this ill shit and they don't follow through with it. They announced the fifth Joker's card of the second deck, Yum Yum Bedlam, also known as Yum Yum Flower.
Mm-hmm.
Which
let's talk about a little bit, because they had their. I know Mike wants to go off about the Hollow Wicked performance, but which I thought was actually dope. That came out as Hawk and Animal, Legion of Doom,
That
which
was
was
dope.
sick. But like the card itself, when I first saw it, I was like, "This is lame as fuck."
Really?
That was my initial impression when I first saw it. I was like, "Ugh." But then I was looking online, and everybody loved it. It was almost like universally loved. Like I only saw a couple people that were like, and I was honestly surprised because I thought people were going to be roasting it. And then everybody's like, "Oh man, it's dope." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I know, Ron, you liked it, right?
Instantly, I was like, this is the best looking card of the second deck.
I loved it.
It looks so dope. I like everything about it. Is I like that it's a female.
Yep.
It's just super dope. Like the only other card of the second deck that I liked upon seeing it was Fearless Fred Fury, but this
Yeah.
one, this
I
one,
mean,
just,
I'll agree that I like it better than the other second deck ones, other than Fearless Fred Fury. Because for me, Fearless Fred Fury could, like, looks wise, you could have even slid that into the first deck, and everybody would have been like, okay, it looks,
The fish, the face. Oh, I love Triple F.
hell yeah. But I thought it looked great. Still do.
The color scheme is a little bit riddle boxy, so
A little bit, but it was like pink and green.
yeah, it was a little bit different, but
Yeah. It was really dope. And then we had they had the thing with Chris Hansen where they took about an hour to just shit on Twisted and Eminem
yeah,
just to, stomp that one into the ground just a little bit more.
yeah. Nobody likes their music anymore.
Yeah, it's just I mean, I get it. It's
Part of the rivalry at this point.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of over the shit talking from both sides. From both sides.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Just fucking whatever. If you're gonna
Oh,
do it.
It all started with the Juggalos Against Sanity card game when they did that something about monoxide. I don't remember what the card was.
Oh yeah,
But
that's right.
that was like where like everybody was like, oh, that was the first thing that everybody was like sharing all
Yep.
over the place.
Yep.
It almost makes me wonder if they noticed that and were like, ooh, this is an opportunity to get it out there even more. You know what I mean?
Because that was during the Chris Hansen thing where they were taking questions from Juggalos. And of course, that question is going to be asked.
Yeah.
It just seemed to go on a lot longer than it maybe should have. Like, we get it. You don't like them. They don't like you. For me, it sucks because I like both. I'd just like to see fucking shit back to how it used to be. I understand that it ain't going to be like that anytime soon, but I'm kind of over the shit talking at times. So sometimes I enjoy it, but
yeah, I mean, I know the three of us we're kind of in both camps. Like, that's why I fuck with you guys, because neither one of you guys are like, oh, fuck MNE, fuck Psychopathic, because there are a lot of people that are like that. Just here for the music, really.
Yeah, and if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. It's just is what it is.
Yeah. Oh, and this is also kind of where they talked about how like Psychopathic is really only ICP at this point.
Yeah, and they also confirmed that the office is for sale.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to mention, which was wild to me because, like I said, I went there the year before for the Black Friday thing, so I went all through it and everything, which I guess should have been. People should have seen it from that point. People should have maybe called it out at that point. Like, this kind of seems like, they're having people go through. Maybe they're getting ready to, get rid of it or whatever. So, and that they also talked about the Clown Compound, I think, at that point, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see if we get our Halloween packages first.
Yeah, they still haven't come yet. They say they're coming. They say that, like, with their most recent ones, they were saying, they're coming.
Right.
It's like, And then Violent J had a realization during HelloFresh, the HelloFresh holidays one, that maybe we should have this stuff done before we promised it and get ready to send it out. It's like, yeah, it's probably a good idea, Jay.
Yep. And then you had the Hollow Wicked performance. I think Ouija performed there, which was dope. Hoodoo performed, right? And then ICP, they came out as LOD, the Road Warriors.
That was dope.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was kind of weird to see him like that, especially Jay.
Yeah,
You know, it's like, whoa.
I don't like acoustic performances. I thought that shit wasn't that good. That's
Yeah,
just-
there were some songs that worked and others that I didn't think worked that well.
But before Ouija and Hulu, there was this dude doing the fucking "Oops, I Did It Again" by Britney Spears. Like his version, I cringed so hard. And y'all know Brooklyn Menace. I was with him. I bounced. Like, I'm out of here. I ain't watching this shit. I'll come back later when the clown's on.
That shit was bad. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. I remember watching that. I was like, what the fuck is this? What is this?
Although I think that their acoustic performance, I think it's going to lead to an acoustic album eventually.
I liked the acoustic performance a lot, but I liked it when they previously did it as well. First, to hear, what was it, like Mr. Rotten Treats acoustic? I was like, wow, that's, like, it's such a different take on it. It's I highly enjoyed it.
I respect that.
Yeah, like I said, I think some songs worked, others didn't. There were definitely some songs where it was like Chicken Hunting is never the same for me without that intro. You know that.
I like how,
like without that, it's like,
I like how Shaggy had the lyrics printed on paper this time, because if you remember, what was it, South by Southwest, I think, where he had to like Google his lyrics and shit.
Oh man.
Well, it was like they were saying, I think they mentioned that actually, in that like when they do full songs, because a lot of times when they go on the road, they only do parts of songs. And so when they have to do a whole song, they're like a whole verse that they never do. And so it's like they don't remember that shit at all, you know?
Right.
So Violent J was talking about Googling his own songs and stuff.
And you put out the amount of music they put out, you know?
Yeah.
Performed, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and overall, I think that was they definitely killed it with those streams, like we said. And Hollow Wicked was dope, and like we said, we haven't talked about the Freak Show experience yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
In comparison, was kind of stale.
Very.
Yeah. I think Drive By performed first, right?
That was the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah, it was. Their strobe lights were like a little extreme, I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that, bro. I was like blinded by the stream. Like I had to like look away, bro. Like legit, I was like, this is too much, bro.
Yeah, I was seizing up a little bit on my couch.
Yeah. I was like, whoo. But because I'm watching it on my computer screen, like right here, bro. And I was like,
fuck that.
I know. That's what I was like, damn. But I don't know what I expected. Maybe I just expected it to be like much different, like locations and stuff. I don't know. And maybe I expected like a little bit of a performance out of it too, because they just like lip synced all the words, and like all the videos were like shot in one location. Like it wasn't like a music video where there's like some kind of progression, some kind of like scene change. And like some of them, they were just like in an abandoned room and just like not even performing the song, mouthing the words to the song to the camera. And I was just like, it's kind of lame.
Yeah. It was like budget friendly music videos, to put it nicely.
Yeah. Yeah, to put it nicely.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that they did the I guess I shouldn't say surprised, but that they did I think it was the We Don't Die music video. They kept everybody in it. Like I half expected them to like do some CGI or like the black bar or something with like Violent J and stuff, but they just played the video as it was.
No. Yeah,
The greatest psychopathic music video ever made.
It's a
For
dope ass video for sure. Did you watch the Freak Show experience, Mike?
No, I didn't peep that. No, I
Yeah,
didn't see it.
It was I don't know. Just it was disappointing.
Yeah.
It was very just I think they learned from it. I don't think we'll be getting that kind of quality of product again.
Yeah, I know. I kind of feel bad for the people who bought the DVD of that, because
yeah, I'm glad I didn't. I'm kind of upset that I paid the $13 to watch it. To be honest. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it felt pretty flat.
Yeah.
But I think during that is when they announced the new Boondocks album. Was that it? The Crimson Crow? Was that during that, or was that during the Netfest? I don't remember.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Well, there was the this was, I think was this November when they did the Boondocks live stream.
Could be. I forgot about.
I know it was Friday the 13th. I didn't watch it because I already mentioned, I'm not like a huge Boondocks fan. But it was Friday the 13th, which, and they had like a hockey mask with Boondocks. I don't know what Boondocks has to do with that, but and yeah, I don't even remember who was on there because, like I said, I didn't watch it. But I know if you ordered it, you got like a sampler for his new album, and
yeah, I forgot about that. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either. What about you, Mike? Did you watch the Boondocks live stream?
No.
I already knew the answer, but I figured. Yeah, so let's see. November. What dropped in November?
Ouija Mac dropped Wasteland, which we already talked about it.
Excellent album.
Fire fucking album.
I think that's going to end up winning the Psychopathic Museum's Album of the Year award this year.
You know what I like about that album, guys? Like, it's banger, banger, banger. And don't let up. Every song, banger, banger, banger. I'm getting that Monday. Go to that Monday.
It's a dope ass.
Oh, get it. Yeah, it's fire.
What else? Twisted dropped Revelation in November.
We talked about that a little bit earlier. It's a dope album.
Which was a dope follow-up to Mad Season.
Yeah.
ICP announced the Big Ballers thing, the Big Ballers live stream, which we'll talk about.
The HelloFresh holidays.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like towards the end of the year where not much is happening again.
Yeah, it was just kind of, small things trickling out, nothing major.
Yep. I guess what we could talk about is, we were just talking about the Party House Peep Show, and when you subscribed, you get the package, and we still haven't got them, and they weren't updating us on the fucking packages for a while. But November was, I'm looking through my shit. It's pretty slow.
Yeah, pretty sparse. I think that was when me and Mike came on for an episode, wasn't it?
We did the Mausoleum review?
No. When we did the Beneath the Dirt podcast episode. Wasn't that November? Because I think it was like a slow month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. I don't list, like, when I have guests on my show in the titles anymore, which I probably should. But
yeah, I mean, I think it was kind of like
on my show like a month ago, or
yeah. Oh, this is also we didn't mention this, but I think November was when Madrox announced that he had gotten COVID.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that was the first time it like hit. Actually, the second time. First one I saw was Class from Underground Avengers. He got it. And then Madrox got it, and it was like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want to see these dudes going down from this shit.
Yeah.
But seems like that they're both good now. Class is back up on Twitter all the time, and Madrox, he's, they're doing their thing now, too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did the Attack of the Ninjas thing, which we'll get into, and, he's performing with Monoxide, so.
Yep.
To perform like that, especially the way Madrox sweats.
Right.
That dude,
that kid shit.
He's like a waterfall when he starts sweating after he's performing, man.
Yeah.
He's moving around pretty well too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to December.
Yeah. So I think that's what we're gonna get into. December was HelloFresh holidays.
Yep.
And then, like we said, the Attack of the Ninjas live stream that they did.
We can't forget about Isham trolling Jamie Madrox on Twitter.
Oh, you trolled Jamie.
Yeah,
I was about to say, who was he trolling this time? Because he also did the thing with Jelly Roll.
I'm a fat kid, obviously. So I don't give. I thought it was hilarious when he said the Jelly Roll. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I like fucking Jelly Roll.
I mean, he was speaking the truth. But
Nigga.
Well, then Jelly Roll's comeback. Jelly Roll's comeback was hilarious too.
It was. It was a good back and forth from both of them. But Isham, he's like, "Look, I just want you to be healthy." But Isham on with Jamie Madrox, because Twisted had posted a thing. Jamie Madrox has his own Spotify playlist, and to follow that playlist, and Isham was like, "You should put Slim Anus on there. That's my favorite song you ever did, Jamie."
That's fucking great.
I thought that was hilarious. I was like,
Did Madrox respond to him?
"What's that?"
Did Madrox respond to E?
No,
Probably not.
No. But Isham on Twitter is funny as hell, man. You know, you should put Slim Anus on there. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, he was trolling all over the place this year.
Yep.
I forget what it was, but I remember I screen capped it and sent it to you because I was laughing. I don't remember what it was. I sent it to you on Instagram, I think. Something about waiting for an album with like oh shit, I can't remember anymore. Like on Twitter, he's been.
That nigga gave me the softest dap ever at Willy Wonka. He had the lokes on and just went. It slid. But I was like, I was kind of hound dogging a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, because I worship Isham, dog. He's like my favorite rapper ever.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. He gave me the softest dap
It
ever.
was like it slid.
I hate when motherfuckers give you a soft, weak ass fucking handshake.
Yeah, he's like
oh, fuck you. That's gross, dude.
Yeah, so I guess we could talk about HelloFresh Holidays a little bit. I haven't watched everything yet. I'm in the process, but I've watched a lot of it. The Zen of Love podcast was a little too cringe for me, to be honest, because it was always like they kept saying tactics, and I'm just like, bro, like you spit these tactics. The way Jump Steady talks is so funny. He's got his hand like this, you know.
Does he wear that fucking do-rag?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. And he was wearing like that lounge suit and like.
Who said that was a good idea to wear that fucking do-rag?
That Son of Love podcast could have been so good where it could have just been Tunnel of Love ICP just doing sexist sex jokes, you know what I mean? But instead they were like trying to give like legit advice to people, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go to Violent J for advice.
Oh, hell
no. Absolutely not.
Some of Violent J's responses were pretty funny, but and that's the best stuff. It was like we were saying before, it's like the best stuff that they do is when they're just talking, you know what I mean, about everyday stuff, you know. It's always the best stuff when they're doing these live streams. Yeah,
the December streams weren't, I'd say they weren't even half as good as the October ones. I subscribed for it. I know people would upload it to YouTube and shit, but for me, they just weren't as good as the October ones. I still have to watch the JCW thing. I've seen the aftermath. It looks like it's much better than the last one they did.
Jason down in his kitchen.
Yeah, they did it in Violent J's house. And I saw that picture of him sitting in his kitchen, like.
Yeah. From what everybody's saying, it seems like that was like the shit. I still got to go back and watch it. I heard like everything from the commentary from 3D and Guido, and then the wrestlers was dope. So. And then we were supposed to have on fucking December 25th.
Yeah.
Biggest disappointment. I feel like I've beaten this into the ground so bad in the last couple of weeks. But it's just so disappointing, man.
First off, fuck the people that say, "Oh, you're a juggalo. You should be, how psychopathic does." Fuck that.
You got to hold them to a higher standard, is what it is. You know what I
You
mean?
can just lie to us and we're supposed to forget about it.
Right.
And I really was hoping that EP would come out, but they had the gall not to even say nothing. Like, that's fucking whack. I don't
Yeah.
care what. And then niggas were getting at my boy Rone Bone, and I was like, "Oh, how you can have a successful podcast? You keep complaining. Fuck you." I was
No,
gonna say,
I meant to introduce Rone Bone as the DJ Vlad of the Underground, but I think
Dude, when I posted that, I got called DJ Vlad. I got called what was
that
the
had
other
me
one?
rolling, dude.
I forget what the other one was. It was like academics or some shit. I don't know. But it's just disappointing. Why can't we hold them accountable?
yes.
If any other artist did that shit, I'd be like, yo, fuck that. That's bullshit. And they, we were supposed to get the Joker's card on Christmas.
Yeah, you fuck us both.
Right.
On both.
And then the EP. All right, fine. I'll take an EP. It's probably just leftover tracks or started tracks from the Joker's card, whatever. But I'll take it because I want to hear it. And you don't even mention anything about it till a day later on the stream, like, oh yeah, the EP was supposed to come out,
It wasn't even. It was on a free stream that they did before HelloFresh Holidays started. It was Jump Steady and Rude Boy, I think. Not Rude Boy. What's his name? Rudy. I can't remember his name. But they got on that stream and they were talking, and then they mentioned he's like, oh, we got to push Yum Yum Bedlam back, and everybody's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Which I don't know, man. I'm glad Mike said it too, because it's just you can be disappointed and hold them accountable.
Yes.
And from what I understand, the Pointless Pizza Party, where Violent J was just kind of like, yeah, we fuck up and maybe we should try doing shit different.
You think?
Yeah.
I think so. That's what I heard. So I haven't heard it myself, but
yeah, no, that's where he talked about like, oh, maybe we should have this stuff done before we announce it.
yeah, gee, you think, or at least
yeah.
It was just disappointing, man.
And if you sit there and you take that, you're just a fucking hound dog. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You take the abuse.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
Well, that was the other common theme with this one is also like Violent J was absent from Big Ballas, which was like Big Ballas was just not even worth watching at all. I mean, Ouija's performance was decent. Ouija's performance was pretty good, but like he was like the only one that really performed as far like, I mean, they had like an opener guy who wasn't terrible, but a lot of it was just a DJ like remix and ICP.
Yeah,
stuff.
I seen that.
Yeah, and they auctioned off tickets. Imagine him buying tickets, bidding on a ticket, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go see ICP in the quarantine. Oh no, never mind. I'm just gonna get a Shaggy solo set, and Shaggy does his thing solo, for sure. But when you have one expectation and then you get something different, it's like, man, what the fuck, man?
It was sick. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Right. Didn't want to come out.
Well, then he was also late to the Pointless Pizza Party by like 2 hours.
That's what I heard.
And he had like this huge elaborate story about what happened. Something about
I want his fucking smack Violent J. I'm so mad at that dude this year, bro. Like,
just stop lying. Just give us the shit when you say you're gonna put it out. They did it with Fearless Fred Fury. They waited 2 days before Fred Fury dropped. And they're like, oh, it's being pushed back. Like, gee, you think? I think we all figured that out by now.
Yeah,
ICP are gods to me, but I'm not gonna like let them niggas slide. You know?
Right.
I called the pushback as soon as they posted the HelloFresh Holidays schedule. I was like, interesting. There's no mention of Yum Yum Bedlam on here. Because they would do something, you know what I mean? Like a live stream talking about the album, something. And people are like, oh, what are you talking about? Just because they don't. I'm like, bro, if you're announcing it out, if you're releasing an album, you're going to talk about it. Something, somewhere. So when they announced the delay, I was like,
right.
Motherfuckers might hate on me for this. I don't think it's coming out in March.
I know. At this point, it's 2 months away. March 5th. It's 2 months and 3 days away. I'm with you, man. We haven't even got the EP.
Yeah. Bedlam's Lure, which we should also mention. This is when, I mean, I don't know exactly when this happened, but Straight Jacket left Psychopathic. I don't know when that happened, but like that's been a problem for them too. I guess they had to find a new engineer, which is they didn't say Straight Jacket during the live stream. They just said, "Oh, we had to get a new engineer." It's like
Everybody knows.
yeah, because he produced that new Twisted track. Remember that people also gave you shit for posting.
Yeah, because I posted that Straight Jacket left. It's funny it's funny just posting the news and people getting mad about it.
Fucking soft ass juggalos.
Right, like what happened, man?
I think the coolest thing that they did in the for HelloFresh holidays, and I don't know if you guys watched it, was the slideshow spectacular or whatever they called it. That was really cool.
That was dope.
Yeah, that was really dope because they just pulled up that in the Gathering seminar, or the Gathering, not seminar, but the Gathering podcast. Because with the slideshow thing, they went through like really old photos, really old flyers, like pictures from like when they were doing like Riddlebox promo, and just like a lot of really cool stuff that they had a lot of cool stories for too.
Yeah, I highly enjoyed that slideshow. That was probably my favorite one of the month, to be honest.
Yeah, and then they did, like I said, the Gathering thing was pretty cool too, because they went through pretty much every gathering. They kind of towards the end they kind of just glazed over everything.
Through,
yeah, they kind of rushed through the end, but you know, a lot of the gatherings towards the end were pretty, you know, they're not as different as the ones that they started with, you know.
Yeah, and the convention centers and shit.
Yeah, I was this close to going to the one in Peoria. I wish I would have went.
I've never been to a gathering, man.
I've been to one, only one. And it was Tom Holly.
I bet.
Yeah, 04.
Yeah.
04.
Yep.
I feel like I would do a lot.
That's when Texel had red hair.
That's ill.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro. My bad, bro.
I feel like I would do a lot better at a gathering now, because if I would have went 10, 15 years ago, you know, that's when I was like drinking and shit. Oh man, who the fuck knows what I would have got into, you know?
I don't know, I probably would have been better back then, because like I would have been able to like I would have been able to like sleep in tent, wake up and be fine, run all over the place.
Yeah, that's
true.
True.
Now I wake up and like, oh bro, I slept wrong. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Probably have to get a hotel room or something, bro. Sleeping on the floor. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Even Astro fucked me up and I had a hotel room, bro. So that's what I was thinking after Astro. I was like, man, the gathering's coming up. How am I going to handle this, bro?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so HelloFresh Holidays was all right. I mean, Balls was kind of lame. They had like maybe 2 or 3 streams that were like worth watching, but as a whole, it was kind of disappointing, especially after the House Party Peep Show, where everything was pretty good. But Ron, we talked about this on your show. We could kind of tell. We were like, they put everything into that. And the leftovers were kind of.
It seemed like it was a one-time thing, that those streams, and now they're going to do one in February. So we'll see what they come up with for February.
Yeah, they say they think it's going to be bigger and better, but you know,
at this point it's trial and error. October they gave everything they had for it, and then December was like, all right, let's try new shit. So I think they're just figuring out what works, what doesn't. So
yeah, even Jump Steady didn't like the succulent soup thing.
That was terrible.
Mike, yeah, he didn't even like that. And I guess they went back and forth on what they were gonna do. And like Shaggy showed up, he didn't have any of his suit or anything for the little, I forget what they called themselves, but you know, their little goofy names. Shaggy didn't think they were gonna do it, so he just showed up normal, and they were like, "Where's your stuff?" And he's like, "What?"
They can't even communicate with each other. Never mind.
His Ronnie Tiger stuff was kind of funny, but the Moon Glorious interview was just. I don't know if you watch. I don't know if either one of you guys watched the Moon Glorious interview.
No,
I got to peep it.
That's where the Doe Dubla thing came in, because Shaggy's trying to interview him. And you know how Moon Glorious is, dude. He's just saying one word over and over.
Yep, like, that's it.
Yeah,
A
I
lot
didn't
of
watch
gay,
it.
a lot
I
of
watched,
gay innuendo going on with Moon Glorious and stuff like that. So it's like,
yeah, I tried watching the first like hour, and I was like, all right, I'm going to bed.
yeah, I can't blame you for that one, dude. It was
Yeah.
just them. Like, I can't even describe the way that they were acting because it was just so strange and like, I don't even know what you'd call it. But then they were just introducing YouTube clips that they watched that they liked and stuff. And so
Right.
it was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah. I'm glad they realized that it wasn't a good segment, and hopefully we won't get that again.
yeah, I mean, I hope they bring back like the like when they like we were talking about earlier when they were talking about the mass murderers and stuff. I really enjoyed that podcast that they did for the House Party Peep Show. So I hope they bring something like that back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
And the thing I haven't watched yet is they did that Crystal Die episode where I think they were like playing games and stuff.
So that was, they had a 20-sided die, and they would roll it, and Jump Steady had a few sheets of like 20 topics, 20 questions, that whatever number they would roll, they would have to answer the question or talk about that topic. And it was good because it was just them just off the cuff, just shooting the shit.
Just chilling. Yeah.
It was actually one of the better streams of the month.
Yep. So HelloFresh Holiday is a little disappointing, but we also got Twisted's Attack of the Ninjas, which was, I think everybody on the label performed. It started with Red in like a small smoky room. And then we haven't mentioned this yet, but I think Oh the Horror performed next after that, I think. So it was Oh the Horror, which is their first band or group that they signed to their Welcome to the Underground label. And then the newest signee that we didn't mention, Gibby Stites, performed. I don't really know what to think about Gibby Stites. He reminds me a little bit of like a less talented Young Wicked, and that like he doesn't have like a gimmick. He doesn't have, he's just a rapper, which is fine, but like on MNE, you kind of need something to stand out, I think. And he doesn't really have that, to me anyway.
Fuck him and Red. Both trash. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan. Not from the single that they released. His performance was kind of mediocre too.
Some whack MC that be begging you to fucking listen to his CD when you're in line at a show or something.
Right. Yeah.
It's happened to me at Tombstone Terror. Remember that tour with Boondocks and Blaze?
That show was the shit.
Yeah, I was in line with this beautiful hottie at the time. And this nigga just tapped me on my shoulder. I frisbee this shit. Fuck out of here. This is crazy, Mike. You know what I mean? Like, right. He just walked away. He want no smoke.
That's funny.
It's so funny.
Tombstone Terror Tour 2006.
He also released a What's My Name Again like remix that was like
Blink-182.
Yeah, that was not my favorite. I'll just say that. I'll be a little kind. I mean, there's a lot I can say about Red and why he got signed, but I don't know if I want to get into it. I'm sure, Rone, you already know.
I don't know.
Well, one of the main reasons why he got signed, I guess I'll get into it, it's not really a secret or anything, is that his dad is like this huge, he like owns like this talent group that helps Twisted get people to open shows and stuff like that. And that's Red's dad.
Oh, okay.
And so Red obviously has kind of like a step in. His dad has a lot of money too.
Yeah.
So that always helps with your music career.
Yeah.
I wasted 3 minutes listening to a Red song and a Give Me Sight song. I got to listen to Matt Season, right? What the hell's wrong?
Right. But I mean, other than that, the Attack of the Ninja show it was dope.
Oh yeah.
It was dope.
Yeah, because it was okay. It was like Red, Oh the Horror, Gibby Stites, and then after that, I think it was Lex. I think came on after that. Oh no, ROC. It was ROC.
ROC.
Then Lex.
ROC was like, dope.
ROC was tore it up in my opinion, dude. Lex's performance was a little bit weird because at one point he brought out this chair and was like sitting in this chair, and I was like,
Computer chair.
"What?" Yeah, I mean, it was for a song "Chill Mode," which
Yeah.
like okay, but it was just really strange. Like, I don't know. It's just like normal performances in my head, and somebody sitting in a computer chair was just really weird. And then after that, AXE came out with their new look. You know, I mean, I don't even really have to give my opinion on it because everybody probably already knows. But they got their new look. Billy talked about it on one of his live streams where they're doing away with the work shirts, pretty much.
Oh,
And
word.
they're wearing the black hoodies now.
I didn't know that. I was wondering why they were wearing. I was wondering why they weren't in the Dickie suits.
Yeah.
Looks more grimy, like they're about to kill your ass.
Right. I like the work suits.
Yeah, it's
Those
classic.
were dope.
Yeah. I thought the hoodies were dope too.
I think the hoodies look good too.
Yeah.
But the work suits, they just look. It's like they're in a fucking slaughterhouse or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Getting ready to go to
smack
work.
your ass with a sledgehammer. You know?
Right. But their performance was fucking dope. I mean, if you've seen Zool live, you already know what to expect. But their performance, and it went by so quick too. It was like 20 minutes. I was like, ah, damn, this shit's already over.
Especially compared to Boondocks' performance. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like I was curious how it was going to go because I know how small that stage is. Not that I've seen it personally, but we've seen it before. And I was like, the boys move around a lot when they perform. Like what you saw there, if you haven't seen Zool live, what you saw there is like nothing compared to what you see when they're live. They're running all over the place, especially Lee. Lee's hopping all over the place, swinging, and like, going crazy. So before it, I was like, man, I wonder how this is going to work. But they managed to pull it off.
Lee Carver.
I guess I'll mention this now. I interviewed Lee a couple weeks ago, and this is something that I don't think too many people have, but he confirmed that he's going to do a solo album as Lee Carver.
Oh. Billy Obey is my favorite, but Lee Carver is the illest lyricist of the crew. My opinion.
Yeah, he said he's going to get it done by 2022, like after like the year of 2022. He's going to try and get it done then. Because Lee's like a super productive guy. So,
Bad Mind beats, Billy Obey beats. That boom bap shit he needs. You feel?
Yeah. Yeah, that's Carver's background, man. Like when he was doing the Knox stuff, man. Like,
yeah, I want all of them to do it. So I know Joey probably won't do one.
Yeah, but, Joe's would be dope, but I don't think Joe would. Joe, I don't think has the wherewithal to do a solo album. If he did a solo album, it'd probably be an EP.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm hyped.
Yeah, so like I said, they tore it up, and then Boondocks came on afterwards, and Boondocks' performance went on and on and on. I got up, left, ordered a pizza, got a drink, came back. He's still on. I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like if you're not a fan, it seems to drag on.
Yeah, felt like 2 hours.
Yeah, but then Blaze came on. Blaze was just playing all the classic shit.
Yeah, and he had that mic stand. You see that mic stand he had? It was sick. I think it was from the Casket Factory tour is what I heard, is that mic stand was from.
I believe so.
Yeah.
But his performance was dope. And then Twisted came out. They did their thing. I liked hearing the new songs live, or them performing it live. It was dope. It was cool to hear them perform one of the rock songs live too.
Yeah. Yeah, they played a lot of their classics and stuff like Murder, Murder, Murder and all that stuff. I mean, Blaze performed some of his classics and stuff.
That reminds me. I'll tell y'all something real quick after the show.
Okay. Okay.
And then they also announced during Attack of the Ninjas that they're doing the For the Fam February streams. We're getting a One Less G in the Hood performance.
Oh,
20th
shit.
anniversary.
Oh, the Horror is performing.
ABK
is doing the Hatchet Warrior album.
Hatchet Warrior, yeah, that was
I'm hyped
crazy
for that.
thing.
And then we got Ala Zuli Lu doing a performance.
Yeah. The ABK thing surprised a lot of people because a lot of people were like, ABK on MNE?
Is he
people are still, nobody knows. But it reminded me of when I know Rone Bone, you reported about this when Mono did that live stream, and he said people are going to hate us for this next signing. You remember?
Yeah.
And they never. There still hasn't been a signing, at least one that everybody would hate him for.
Right.
So it makes me wonder, like, are they
Might
going
be.
to officially sign ABK? My other thought was maybe they're going to sign Straight Jacket, something like that. You know, I don't know. But at that time, Straight Jacket was still, I mean, that doesn't mean he wasn't talking to the guys, but
It's funny because I think he said producer. They were signing
yeah.
producer. So maybe it is Straight Jacket because he did produce and engineer that song. That's funny. I didn't put those two together till you just said that.
I've been thinking about that the whole time Mono said that, because I keep waiting for him to sign the person, you know, because that's when everybody loses their minds, like, oh my god, MNE.
Well, you know, and now we got the new East Side Ninjas single, Twisted Blaze and ABK. They're going to be putting out a group project.
Yeah, I was going to mention that too. Yeah, that's I listened to. It's actually pretty dope. It's not what I wanted out of MNE, but
I was bumping those super famous Fun Time dudes.
Yeah, that was something else I was going to mention.
That shit is hard.
Yeah,
you like it?
When I seen them, like, they look gay, but then I listened to it. I'm like,
See, I got to give it another chance. I only listened to the one song that they did with Billy Obey, the new single.
Brainless.
Yeah, Brainless.
Which Bill kills the hook on.
Yeah,
I love that, and the music video is dope.
Creepy.
Yeah, the music video is dope.
The video's fire.
Yeah.
Fire. So I gotta go. I gotta listen to them. That was my first time. I've heard about them for the last couple of years, and I know who A-Legs is. I mean, A-Legs been doing real ass art for a minute.
A-Legs the kid with the braids, or the other kid?
No, 8 Legs is the one that has the braids. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he doesn't actually have braids. That's on the mask, but yeah.
But yeah, I gotta peep them out. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess since we're talking about it, LLE has officially signed their first artist. They made the announcement on the 31st. Super Famous Fun Time guys are now an official Long Live Evil, the first signee of that label. It's something that I've known has been coming for a long time. Not necessarily the signing, but it's just something that, like, if you're paying close attention to what the boys are doing, who they're associating with, it was something that's been in the works for like over a year. Yeah. Like, you know, Super Famous Fun Time guys are putting LLE on their flyers and stuff, and it was just like, it was a long, you know, it was kind of a long process, but they eventually got there. I'm excited to see what they do next. I mean, I'm really excited to see, you know, where this takes them.
They got the label and stuff. They got the album coming out and all that shit.
Yeah, they don't hug me from the front.
Yeah. That's funny.
All their album titles. It's difficult to describe the kind of music that they do, because it's like self-deprecating. Is self-deprecating horrorcore even a thing? I don't know. Because, you know, all the stuff that they do, they're like, hey, we got this shitty shirt design, go buy it. All their stuff is like that.
Right.
If I was going to recommend a song to somebody, it'd probably be Positive. I don't know if you've heard Positive yet, but it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear what it is. I was always put off by their image.
I was
the A La Zulu when I first saw them come around. I was put off by the image. I was like, nah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, especially with AXC, because we've talked about this before too. It's like that generic horrorcore look, you know, right, where you wear a scary mask and or you wear scary face paint, and, you know, most of the time it's to hide no talent. Most of the time,
right. But in Zul's case, that's not that's not it.
Something I forgot to mention, not really forgot to mention, but I don't know if you guys heard this. Madness from prior Bedlam fame dropped a Twisted diss track. I don't know if you guys heard it or not.
So there's people. There's people that I refuse to talk about on my show, but I'm not on my show. This dude is the epitome of talentless, attention-seeking, horrorcore Like it's so bad. It's so bad. When someone added me on Twitter, it was like, "Oh, Twisted got destroyed." I was like, "If you think this is good, I don't even want to hear your opinions on any kind of music whatsoever." That dude has been no talent, talentless, going back to the Bedlam days. It's all just for attention. Anybody that fucking thinks dude is ill, dude's good. His diss was him using twisted, like 10 different twisted flows. Okay,
And
if
the
you
same
hate
rhyme scheme is murder.
right.
Yeah, he did it over Murder.
There was a couple other ones that he did, a bunch of other ones. And I'm like, dude is just not good. And
No.
go back to your basement and fucking, you know what I mean? Go chill out with all them dudes that love chilling in your fucking basement, looking at all the old flyers, reminiscing on the old days, on all this shit that you did. And
He hates the Bender Boys, but he's on our stream sucking our dicks. Like, get the fuck out of here.
it was so bad, and I refuse to talk about it because it's just
Yeah. Imagine Shaggy's hanging out on our streams. Like, come on, like,
yeah.
Dude, you're supposed to be this underground legend.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Prozac left your ass in the fucking basement, and now he's on Travel Channel and signed to Strange Music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was like pretty much exactly what I said when because I posted it on Facebook, and I said, like, you know, it's trash, basically is what I said. But and I liked Bedlam back in the day, dude.
Oh,
I know you never liked them. I liked Bedlam back in the day, but that I exactly what I said is I don't know how anybody could think this is good. It's exactly what I said, and I still don't know how people think that's fire. Most people think it's fire just because he's distant and twisted.
Right.
I can't imagine anybody listening to that.
Only reason why people are supporting it because it's dissing Twisted. Bedlam was so bad that when they got a verse from Isham, it was Isham high as fuck, just freestyling shit up the top of his head that didn't even make sense.
I didn't hear Bedlam.
He just took a quick payday.
And how could you say, like, they're like Zools? Zools like them. You know, it's like,
right.
I don't see it.
It's just an irrelevant person trying to insert themselves into a conversation. But I believe if you just ignore shit, it'll die off. If you want something to die, just ignore it.
Plus, it's weird that it came out now. Like, why did it come out just now? Like, this is it. That's what I don't get about it. Like,
right.
It's what he's talking about is like old news. Like, it happened a long time ago.
Yeah, apparently they broke his little heart back in the day, 04 maybe. I don't know when he said it was. You think Jamie and Paul are thinking about this fucking guy?
No.
They probably haven't even listened to it. They probably don't even know it exists, to be honest.
Right. It was funny at best. At best, that it was funny in the sense of look at this fucking guy just trying to make a name for himself.
Yeah, it wasn't even so bad. It was good.
No, it was just bad.
Yeah, it was.
Dude has no flow. I'm done talking about it.
Yeah, we had a bunch of little things that happened. I mean, you reported on the Ritz thing. They got you the DJ Vlad.
Oh yeah,
thing.
that too. Yeah.
A lot of people doubted if that was real. I still don't even know if it was real because, like, if you look at his Instagram, it was like during that time, it was just like active the whole time. Not saying he doesn't have somebody handling his Instagram for him, or if he doesn't have like auto posts set up or something like that.
Yeah. To me, it seemed like a domestic situation with his old lady. It might. I think it might not seem as bad as it looks. I'm just waiting to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was the one charge of, what was it? Cruelty to children.
Mm-hmm.
But that is, if you get into a fight, a domestic with, anybody in your family and kids are there and they witness the fight, that's cruelty to children. So
Yeah.
well,
the weird thing was the terroristic threats. That was like a felony.
I'll be back 1 minute, right? I'll be back.
Yeah.
Gotta take a piss.
Terroristic threats, that's just basically probably threatening somebody,
Yeah. But for that to carry a felony is kind of crazy if that's what it is,
Yeah. Like I said, I have a feeling it's probably not as bad as it seems. But we'll have to see how it plays out, See how it fucking plays out.
Yeah, it was weird because that was like nowhere. It was like you shared it, and I was like, "Where the heck does he get any of this information from?"
I got it from Carnival Spirits.
Yeah,
I'll give credit where credit's due. No problem. I saw them talking about it, and I was like, "Where the fuck?" And then that's when I thought, like, "How the fuck did they find this out?"
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You had to be like scanning like the websites looking for stuff. It's like, who does that, dude?
Right.
But again, stuff always comes out. Like weird stuff like that comes out, bro.
Yep. So that was interesting. I like Ritz's music. But like I said, we'll see how it plays out. See exactly what happened and see if anything comes of it, Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah, I know AXC has a song with Ritz. So maybe they're waiting to see how this plays out, and if it's as bad as it seems on the surface before they drop something like that, or just wait for it to blow over.
Yeah, I remember when he posted about that. Did a verse for Zool. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that wasn't supposed to come out.
Right.
That wasn't supposed to be known. And then he's like, yeah, here. It's like, oh man. They just rolled with it.
Yep. I'm curious to hear how Zool and Ritz would sound on a track. To me, it doesn't really make sense. But who the fuck knows, man? They both have the talent, so I don't doubt that they can pull off a dope track together.
Yeah, it's definitely probably going to be like different subject matter than usual for the Zool boys. They have a couple songs that are kind of like that. Not that I can see Ritz fitting on, but songs that aren't like, Texas Chainsaw
or
whatever. Yeah, straight horrorcore stuff. Yeah, we MF Doom passed away on Halloween.
Yep.
Is really pretty crazy. Well, I really thought it was crazy that his family managed to keep it a secret for as long as they did. And I was actually talking to Slasher Dave about it, and he was like, he must not have had many people that he, was hanging out with and stuff, because you'd think that one of those people, at least, like if he was chilling with so and such and such or whatever, they'd be like, oh, where is he,
Right.
So the fact that it was a secret for so long, over 2 months.
To me, it makes sense because if you know anything about MF Doom, he was kind of like this mysterious dude, and it just kind of fit his character because there was always like reports that he would send somebody else to do a show as him. Like he wouldn't even do the show. It would just be another guy wearing the mask performing as MF Doom. Can
you imagine being at that show and finding out later that it wasn't actually MF Doom?
So it makes sense. And I wasn't a fan of MF Doom. I'm not gonna front like I was, but I could totally recognize that dude was like legendary in hip hop, and his influence is definitely there. I know Mike is a big fan of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, it's also crazy, he always wore a mask, and then he passed away on Halloween. It's like,
right.
It's just a weird coincidence,
Yeah.
And I don't think they.
Props to his team and his family for keeping that under wraps for 2 months.
Yeah.
And 2020 couldn't end without one last little bit of shitty news.
Yeah, the last little bit of staleness.
Right. Like I said, I wasn't a fan, but I'm part of the hip hop community, and it doesn't matter who it is. But anytime anybody dies, talk about it on my show this week. It doesn't matter. all the young dudes in hip hop that got murdered this year,
Yeah.
you know, and Doom dying from who knows what. It's just it's sad,
And then who was the guy that died from? He died from COVID. What was his name?
Fred the Godson.
Yeah.
Yep, Fred the Godson, R.I.P. It's just if you're in the hip hop community in any aspect and these dudes die, it just sucks. Even if you're not a fan.
Yeah, it was another kind of crazy year. I mean, Alex Trebek passed away. Brody Lee passed away. I don't know how much you're into wrestling, but
Who?
Brody Lee or what's his name in WWE? He was
Oh, I saw that. That was just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wyatt guy or whatever.
Yeah. I can't remember his name when he wrestled for WWE.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another crazy one. Because he was only like 41.
Right.
And it was a non-COVID lung issue.
That's weird. And unfortunate. Dude, young as hell.
Yeah, kind of getting ready to get into his prime in terms of wrestling,
Yeah.
That's kind of when people start blowing up and stuff, They did I know AEW did a whole tribute show for him, and I know his t-shirt was the #1 seller for them ever. I was like,
oh, wow.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, 2020 was full of bones. Just
I mean,
that shit.
Yeah, like we said though, the music, in terms of music, it was there was a ton of output.
A lot of music, and within the underground wicked shit juggalo world, and then outside too. I listened to a lot of other shit too, and 2020 was a great year for music.
Yeah, it was like we mentioned earlier, people had to hustle, however they could, and so putting out music is their one way to make money without touring.
No tours, so you got to do something. Might as well just put out a bunch of new content, whatever, whether it be merch, music, online streams.
Yeah, and well, that's part of it. Is most artists don't make too much money off music anymore, so it's even harder for them, because touring is their lifeblood.
I'd be willing to bet that 2020 was people made better money this year or last year, because we're into the new year now, but I'd bet that they made more money off actual music in 2020 than they did in previous years.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did actually get together and start actually buying records and stuff, because people started realizing without people touring, these artists aren't making much money.
Right.
Kind of stalling until Mike Sears gets back. I don't want to. There he is. There he is. It's all right, man.
We did bring up Doom, and I know you're a big Doom fan.
Oh yeah, I'm devastated, man. RPMF Doom, Metal Fingers, Metal Face Doom, man.
Yep.
Been a fan since the year 2000. 91.1 college radio station. They played Rhymes Like Dimes of Operation Doomsday. I've been a diehard fan ever since, and it hit hard, man. Like Prodigy, like Sean Price, type of feels,
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just saying how it's crazy that it was a secret for 2 months.
Yeah, on Halloween he passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like I was telling Luke, even though I wasn't a fan of Doom, it's I can recognize dude was definitely legendary in hip hop, and what he contributed and his influence that could still be felt, in today's music.
Big facts.
You know what I mean?
Underground legend. He's the Ric Flair of the underground.
Right. And I was telling Luke, the fact that his death was kept a secret for 2 months makes sense, because he would send people, he wouldn't even do shows. He would just send people wearing a mask to do shows and shit.
Sometimes he would do that, yeah.
It's funny as hell.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up 2020 in a nutshell. I don't know if there's anything else you guys were thinking about that you wanted to talk about from 2020.
Not really.
No, I think we covered most of it. I'm sure someone will comment, "Hey, you didn't fucking talk about this."
Yeah. Well, we try to cover everything. I think we touched on everything. It was like me and Roan were saying earlier. It's like this was a crazy year for music. There was
Yeah.
a ton. I mean, it was a hard year for a lot of people. Obviously, a lot of COVID related deaths, and we've had a lot of non-COVID related deaths this year that we talked about. But
Being locked down, having to fucking just sit there and think.
yeah. Well, let's hope that 2021, hopefully, we start to get back to some kind of normalcy. Hopefully, towards the end of the year, we can start seeing a gradual live shows coming back.
I hope so, man.
Yeah, and hopefully ICP releases Yum Yum Bedlam. We'll
Back.
see. Yeah. So, Rowan, go ahead and plug any of your stuff that you want to plug.
Luke, thank you for having me on. It was dope kicking it with you guys, and Beneath the Dirt podcast every Monday. If you want to listen, tune in beneathdirt.com. That's where you can find any platform you want. Thank you again.
Yeah, man. Mike?
Thank you, Luke, for being on the show. I appreciate it. Always a blast chopping up with y'all. Mike Sears _ Speak Your Clout on Instagram. Supervillain85 on Twitter, like Supervillain the group. And yeah. YouTube, Speak Clout Podcast. I don't got the Spotify shit going on. I need to get it on top of that, right? YouTube, 6 p.m. Eastern every Saturday, man. Speak Clout. UFC every Friday.
Hell yeah.
10:50 p.m. Eastern. I'm fucking zooted, my nigga. Me and Snack and Cheech and Chong at this juggalo shit. We're always high, making mistakes, fucking up. Yeah, so keep that too. UFCD on Studio 17, 10:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, shout out Luke the Goon, man. He's fucking home.
All right. Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. This has been a really long episode. So, like, if you guys have made it this long, you're the MVP. Thank you guys for watching. Stick around. We're going into 2021. Hoping things look better. Thank you guys for watching. See you.
See ya. Peace.